Welcome to Living a Sex-Positive Life, where we can guarantee the topic will be about sex. We'll talk about the good and the bad, the health and healing benefits, the adventures, the relationships, as well as the crimes and the tragedies. Our mission is to educate, entertain, and just talk about that touchy subject that affects us all, sex. Now here's your host, Angelique Luna.
Good evening, everyone. This is Angelique Luna. I'm here with my co-host and hubby with the mostest with the IT department, Jen C. Luna.
I'm now a department. I like that. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Hey, you've been saving my neck a couple of times, so I
couple?
Okay, all the time. So tonight we have the life of a Sexinista. This is interesting. So Tiffany Yelverton is the founder and chief Sexinista of Entice. She's always believed that the world is a better place when there's more great sex. She has designed her company around her values and desires for the highest quality products, things that are good for your body at a fair price. She wants to share her knowledge and passion for great sex with the world, or at least Southern California. But I think you've gone to the world by this point. With her help, she hopes that each and every one of her clients can have a little bit more fun in the bedroom, either with themselves or with a partner. Entice Me is an education based with women's pleasure at top of mind. While our men deserve pleasure too, she focuses on the psychological and physical benefits of women's sexual health. She has personally researched and tested the majority of the products that Entice Me carries. It's been a tough job, but someone had to do it. She loves helping women make their lives sexier. Tiffany's especially interested in educating young women about the importance of self-pleasures and ways to incorporate them into their lives. Welcome to the show, Tiffany.
Thank you, Angelique. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's been, 5 years or 6 years now, the company's anniversary?
We'll be having our 7th year in February, so very excited for that.
Oh, absolutely. So that means that we've been 5 years talking then.
Yes, we've been talking for about 5 years, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. 7 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you just recently got featured in the Xbiz magazine. That was quite a spread they did on you.
It was so exciting. I love to be able to know that what I'm doing is making an impact more than just in my local area, and it's finally coming to that fruition, and it's very rewarding.
Oh yeah, have you heard any feedback from the article itself from many people, or?
Just people that I've shared it with have thought it was really great. They loved that there was, I was in the table of contents with a picture. So the print magazine isn't out yet, just the digital. So once I think people get their print one in the mail, it will even be more press and excitement around that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just when they have the physical, because I know sometimes it's hard with the digital, but I just was so excited. I was just like, yay, she's finally made the big times.
Yes, it was fun.
So how did Entice Me all started?
Well, I've always thought that there's been no really outlets to learn about sex and to talk about sex. And I had years ago gone to like a typical pleasure party kind of deal and thought that it could be done a lot better. I thought it was really crass and kind of on the cheesy side, and I thought that most of us middle-class American women needed something a little bit more upscale and to really learn and have serious conversations about sex and sexuality, because usually when we're going through a problem or have an issue, we think we're all alone, but once we start talking to each other, we find that many of us are experiencing the same thing. And so it was really kind of the catalyst of starting that product line. I had been already interviewing and researching and talking to many people about how sex affect their relationships for many years, but that was really the catalyst to get it started. And as I started to research, I found out that chemicals that were outlawed in children's toys hadn't been outlawed in adult toys. And so products I had that were not so great quality were changing color on the ones that were a higher quality. And I thought, if they're doing that in my body, what are they doing, going further? And that's when I put together a very curated line on body safe, non-toxic products.
So they actually allowed sex toys. Of course, they're the last thing to be censored. First thing to be censored, last one to be improved. But they were still using the exact same chemicals that were outlawed in child toys for us to put inside our bodies.
Yes, in our most absorbent parts of our bodies. And in the past few years, even, there have been more regulations passed even on pet toys than there have ever been on adult toys.
Oh my God!
Literally, your dog chew toys have less chemicals than a lot of sex toys.
Damn, PETA, come on! You're fighting for the wrong people.
Well, I know it's hard to get people to talk about sex in many industries, but when it comes to health, you think it would open up a little bigger, or at least be on the topic, but no, I should expect that.
Yes, it is puritanical America. You have to remember that, and that no one wants to talk about sex, because that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. No one does that.
No, it's only for procreation. That's it.
Never need to have fun with it, or God forbid, use a lubricant or a sex toy to keep things exciting.
Oh, I hear you there, but that's insane. That is so insane that my pet is safer than I am when it comes to a sex toy.
Well, yes. To a toy in general.
It really is, and doctors don't even really know, because most doctors don't get a whole lot of training about sex and sexuality products in their entire medical school experience. And so I've trained offices and medical groups about the toxicity of products, and they really had no idea that they were recommending products that could kind of be counteractive and counterintuitive to what they were wanting to be achieved with their patients.
Oh, wow. That's scary right there. So, but hopefully, science and technology and education will all catch up with each other.
Well, we have heard stories about people having allergic reactions, and reactions to even using the right lube, but then using something like a lube shooter, which was disposable, and apparently they were allergic to the plastic from the lube shooter. So, wow. I guess you got to look out for everything.
You really do. And I've gone back and forth with chemists on lubes, and what the FDA considers generally regarded as safe, or GRS, is acceptable in many of our skincare products and in even foods and personal care products, but that doesn't mean that they're good for you. It's just like GMOs aren't necessarily good for you in food, but they allow them. And so it's just really taking it to the next level and finding out what you're okay with putting in your own body. Most lubricants contain parabens and propylene glycol, which parabens are now found in 99% of breast cancer tumors, and propylene glycol is an active ingredient in antifreeze, and it's an alcohol derivative, which is very counterintuitive to what you would like a personal lubricant to do.
Makes you wonder what they were making when they said, oh yeah, this will be great in a sex toy.
Right.
So, wow. So you've become sort of a chemist expert here on, well, had to be the sex toys, to vet all these toys to get on your site, huh?
Yes, I'm very particular. I have very strict standards because I do work with a lot of cancer recovery patients and survivors. And once you've had a traumatic experience and a life-changing disease, it's very important to know what you're putting in your body, because it can have estrogen-dependent and endocrinal changes in your body.
Wow. Man, a lot of things we never think about for our sex toys. So let me ask you, say you've been working with chemists and such. Has the industry become more sensitive to these issues?
Well, Yes and no. We are starting to see a lot more high grade products. When I first started out, there were just a couple companies that were really trustworthy on the market, Lalo and Fun Factory, Jeju, lines like that were really high quality, touting themselves as medical grade silicone. And so there's a lot more companies that have gotten on the bandwagon and started to produce and realize that people do want higher quality products and they will pay for them. The not so great thing is that products still produced in China, because they're labeled novelty, they don't have to be truth. There's no truth in labeling. So they will literally put whatever you want on the label. And at first I thought it was a language barrier, but really they will label the product 100% silicone if that's what you want on the label. However, it doesn't have to contain any silicone for them to put that on the label.
Wow, oh my god, that's freaking insane. I can't believe that.
It sounds like that should be a legal issue of fraud.
Well, except for it's a novelty product that's meant to not be inserted in your body. So because of the regulations or lack of regulations. And I mean, we see that problem even in children's toys and pet food and everything coming from China, that it says one thing and then when it's tested third party, it's completely a different ingredient makeup. So it's just being cognizant. I'm very particular about the manufacturers that I use and their control of end raw materials, and so that we don't have those issues coming up.
Oh yeah, definitely there. Now, how did you come up with the soiree idea and the Sexinista also?
Well, I wanted to go to people where they were at in their home, because going to a sex shop, even as classy as some are, it's still very overwhelming for most people. And I wanted it to be very conducive to having a conversation and for education. And I think home parties do that. And I just wanted to call it something more than a home party. It's very classy and upscale. And we wear little black dresses and pearls so that it's very much the host is comfortable and the guests are very comfortable. And then putting together a sales team, I didn't want to just call them consultants or distributors, and so I coined the word Sexinista, which is kind of like a fashionista, only for sex.
Definitely there. It's perfect because some of those other parties, at-home parties, it can get kind of stale and the same thing, but at least, to different. I love the upscale, cocktail, black dress, pearls, and really comfort level to talk, because I think we kind of forget that the older women still like those at-home parties and can still learn quite a bit compared to those youngins.
Well, it's always a good time to get together with your friends and to have wine. And, women like to buy and men like to buy for their women. So whether it's a co-ed event or just women, it's a fun time. It's a subject that most people aren't comfortable just talking about if you were sitting around. But once you have someone to facilitate, like a Sexinista, to be able to really open up that conversation. And we use a questionnaire and an icebreaker that really starts to open up the questions and say, things by asking questions like, how often do you orgasm during sex? And does your partner satisfy you? What would you like to change about sex? What would you like to learn about sex? Things like that maybe people have opportunity to answer before.
Oh yeah, learn how to communicate. That's always a hard part, because I think,
it's amazing, right?
Yeah, it's like, do you even know what you like? I mean, have you masturbated and touched yourself so that way you could tell your partner what you like? I mean, come on.
Yes, most people, it's amazing that they have not ever talked about sex with their partner. It's amazing to me.
For a society
but
that...
I get it, it's something that we've been conditioned to not talk about, that it's very prim and proper and not for pleasure. It's for procreation. And my goodness, we wouldn't ever need to talk about that. But then we have humongous divorce rates, you know, but we don't talk about things like sex that make a big difference in your relationship.
Well, sex is a very intricate part.
Fantastic about bringing a positive approach to sexuality on your podcast. It's fantastic. I love listening to it.
Aw, thank you. We appreciate it. You know, we're trying to make that difference in the world to make sure people can communicate, compromise, and consent to their relationship, whether it be like inside or outside the bedroom, because, you know, we do need to spark up more conversations and get rid of that friggin' stick up everybody's ass about sex.
Right?
Well, it's funny. I recently got a situation where someone said, well, you know, I have kids at home and I don't want to listen to it in front of them. And, you know, they were kind of shy. I'm like, well, okay, first you listen to it in the car with the windows closed. Then when you're comfortable, you need to listen to it with the windows open. Then you need to go to your husband, whichever order you want, and you need to talk to it. So that way, at least if we can spark that conversation and get people thinking even about the questions to ask, it at least starts taking things in the right direction. Like you're doing with trying to find health-conscious sex toys. Because in my opinion, everyone needs a sex toy. It should be right up there with a bed and, you know, food and water.
Right. Well, we have to get everyone in America having sex as much as they're eating food, and then we can even move into sex toys. Because I think everyone needs to have more sex, and we would probably have world peace if everyone was happier. Having more orgasms, that's my philosophy.
Oh, no, true. But, you know, right now with the current administration, that's just kind of questionable. So I'm like, ugh.
Don't get too political.
They need to have sex in their marriage first, but I'm wondering if that ever happens.
Well, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, wait a minute. You're saying that you're against sex, but you're the first one to pay for a sex worker. Let's get that straight.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Some of them are not straight. They just like to say they are, but really in the closet.
Yes.
Oh my God. So what has been your most interesting party to teach or host?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on. You got to have some good.
So unique.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. You know, they're all very well. One of the most interesting, okay, I will say this, is that my mother had one of my first soirees. That was, you know, for most people, like, oh, our mother had one, and it was my friends and her friends, so it was a very good mix of all age groups and sexual orientations, and you know, it really was gratifying to know that she was comfortable with that, because my father to this day still tries to pretend he doesn't know what I do for a living.
Oh God!
They're divorced. They've been divorced a long time. Hence, my mother. But you know, one of the questions that she got when we were doing the icebreaker was, "How often do you have sex?" And she was very candid and said, you know, my husband and I have been married for almost 30 years, and we've had sex twice a week, whether we liked each other or not. And that has kept us together. And I thought that was really awesome, because most people wouldn't feel comfortable, one, in front of their daughter and friends saying that. And it just really, you know, let me know that I was doing the right thing in the world.
Oh, definitely. Wow, that's interesting that they at least still had sex together, even though if they were at odds with each other. That's so cool.
Well, when someone opens up a conversation like that, it makes the entire room feel a lot more comfortable opening up about their relationships. So it starts the ball rolling.
And I mean, I had girlfriends there that were, you know, at the time we were in our late 30s, early 40s, and one of my friends was like, I can't tell you, it's been a month or so since my husband and I have had sex, and we do need to do more, and we just let the kids get in the way, and baseball games and basketball games and everything get in the way of that. But we need to really refocus on our relationship.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing of always getting lost being somebody else and not yourself. Because I know when I do a lot of my sex coaching clients, it's like I always start with like, okay, let's focus on you. Let's work on who you are versus like your so-and-so's mom, your so-and-so's wife, your so-and-so's, work or something else, because we do get into those life habits that we forget our own identity. And it's like, you need to have that, just to have happiness in your own life and great relationships with everybody else. Because, what sometimes I tell people is like, what happens when the kids leave? You're all alone. What are you going to do?
Well, and that happens to so many women is once they're empty nesters, is they don't have an identity anymore, and they really don't know what to do. And they haven't been connected with their spouse in 18 years, and then they have to start talking to each other because no one else is in the house. I deal with that with my coaching clients as well, is like, you've got to know who you are and what you want, and stop worrying about everybody else first. It's about you first.
Yeah, definitely. I even found a little like Instagram photo there of like the person taking care of everybody, and then when it came to themselves, it's like, yeah, you just toss it in the trash. I'm like, yes, this is what society does. It just tells you that you're not important and you just need to move forward. And people like ourselves has to reprogram. It's like, yes, you're important, and sex is very much important part of your life.
Yes.
Well, we hear the big term these days, self-care. And when it's put in that term, it sounds nice, but so many people don't do it. They like you said, let the kids get in the way, the games, life gets in the way, and you can't be expected to continue on and on and on. Even I found a recent statistic of how many people don't go on vacation or go on vacation less than 1 week a year, which is insane. Eventually, you need some time to recharge. You can't run a marathon right after another marathon. But I don't know, people have this almost shame that if you're taking care of yourself, you're being selfish. And it to me, it's like taking care of a car. If you don't take care of it, eventually it breaks down. And there's no shame in getting an oil change. So why should there be shame in getting a massage, getting a sex toy, enjoying life?
I agree. We do put ourselves last, and I mean, I'm a busy business owner, and I have to check myself and go, oh yeah, I haven't eaten lunch today or gotten a massage or anything, but I need to take care of myself, because I notice that my business starts to falter if I'm not self-pleasuring, if I'm not taking care of myself, if I'm not having fun with my friends and my lovers, and everything starts to fall from there.
So true. So I know you have the website and you do the soirees. I notice you're also doing classes as well.
Yes, I do workshops as well, because we always have things to discuss. So they're more delving deeper into certain topics. I love teaching about body image and libido and how to kind of get your groove back, as well as technique-based classes like blowjob workshops or pegging.
Those are always so much fun, watching the blowjob workshops. I'm not allowed in, but I hear all the stories.
I was thinking more of the pegging, because just everyone's reaction when you put the strap on, they're like, oh! It's like, what do you expect?
Well, it's interesting, we're all very involved in sex education and all the inner workings and conferences and everything, but then I'll put pegging out on a newsletter, and I swear half my clients go, what is pegging? What is that? I had to look it up online. I was like, oh, sorry, I need to use a terminology that everyone understands what it is.
So what do you use then? I'm just curious at that point.
A lot of times I'll just talk about role reversal and anal sex, and
Well, no, I could totally understand that because just in the last few months, one of the places around here had a figging class.
so she comes to Long Beach and teaches our pegging classes.
Sorry, I think we lost you there just for a little bit.
Okay. I was saying that Ruby Ryder is one of my Sexinistas, and she teaches the pegging class with me here in Long Beach. And so we always like to just tell people that it's about role reversal and anal sex and learning new things that you can try as we age and to keep things interesting.
Oh, that's awesome. But no, the definition thing definitely even happens to us. One of the institutes around here had a class on figging. And I had to go look that one up because I thought I had done at least I thought I knew everything. I haven't tried everything yet. But I had to go look up what figging was, and it has nothing to do with figs.
It doesn't. Ruby was talking about that on one of her podcasts, and I had to Google that myself, and I was like, oh, that isn't something I would have ever imagined, but...
And it involves ginger, which for anyone who's actually made the mistake of saying, oh, I like, ginger on my salad, I like this, I'll go get an actual ginger root and taking a bite of it. Whoa, it is strong and I guess acidy is the best way to put it.
Yes, it's powerful. I mean, I can't even imagine the things that they do with that, but I'm more of a pleasure girl. I'm not really a pain slut, so...
Yeah, much more of the soft silicone.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, no, I can't handle that pain either. But I mean, I love ginger to get rid of a cold, but not anything else. That's it.
Or with my sushi, I love the pickled ginger like that. I'll eat that, but I can't imagine like putting it anywhere. Just does not sound pleasurable to me.
But it sounds like that's something that had to have come up recently. Like, I don't even think it was a thing 10 years ago. Maybe people did it, but it didn't have a title, and it's just, I don't know.
I think it's in the last year, I would say, that
I have to agree with that because I don't remember anything earlier. And it's like I usually try to keep up with all the crazy trends there, to try to debunk, okay, is this really real or did someone just make it up, go on Snoops or something. So, but when they started doing that, I'm like, oh my God. Like sloshing, that was one of them that I never understood what it was until Sunny and Ken had there on their show. And I'm like, okay, not my thing, but glad to know that it exists.
Well, I don't know. I use Urban Dictionary and have like a word of the day, so I try to keep up on things because I'm old, whatever. That's what my friends tell me. But I used to work in the restaurant industry, so I had young little kids all around, and so to keep up with their lingo, I had to always use Urban Dictionary to find out what was going on in the world.
Yeah, and even that, sometimes it's not even up to date. It's like, it's so hard to keep up because it keeps changing. And I'm like, okay. And it's like from 1 month to the next. And I always think it's like, how the hell am I supposed to keep up with this stuff?
I know. They learn at such a fast rate, kids and teens and millennials. It's crazy. I just learned the other day that they don't even teach cursive writing in school anymore.
No, they don't.
They don't. I know. So they're going to have a hard time reading all our previous books and things in the library. Oh, so crazy there. But yeah, even communicating with emojis, it drives me insane because I'm looking at this emoji and I'm trying to figure out if they're telling the story. So we were just watching Fox's Lucifer, and Lucifer texted his brother all these emojis, and we're like, what the heck it was about? And then he explained the whole story. I'm like, yeah, we're supposed to understand that you just, like, saved the world by sending your mom into another dimension.
Compose the whole sentence.
Compose the home sentence with, was it donuts, flaming sword, shit turd. It was, like, insane, like 25 emojis. And I'm like, that was a sentence?
Oh, yeah, that just makes me feel old. I texted a friend, like, emojis the other day, like, just like I thought it was the, like, wide-eyed face or whatever, and he's like, why are you so worried? I'm like, I'm not. That's my eyes are wide open face. I don't know. I'm not worried. I'm like, I don't know what all these damn things mean.
Oh, yeah, they need an emoji translator.
Right? I'm like, I didn't mean to tell you I was throwing up on you. I don't know. I don't know what these things are. It looked like a face I would send. I don't know.
I thought it would be a fad, but it seems to be sticking around.
It is. I mean, the only thing I could suggest for, like, that I knew was the eggplant emoji for a men's penis. That's it.
And how did that come about?
I am still trying to figure that out.
No, but we've been trying to figure out what would be a woman's private thing, and all I could come up with was like a half...
It's a peach.
It's a peach.
The peach is what they use.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. That would work. I was thinking avocado for some reason, but my mind's in a different place now.
A papaya.
Taco Tuesday? I believe it's Wednesday.
Yes, but today's actually taco day, so I did go ahead and get tacos.
Nice. Oh my god.
But, you know, for something like figging or splashing or any of those that we've only heard about in the last year, I'd like to think that it means that somewhere there's a very creative person who was sitting around one day bored with all the stuff we could have done, all the stuff that was available, and said, you know what? I got a great idea. And someone else said, okay, I'll go along and try it. And now it's a thing.
And, you know, people have probably been doing it for decades or centuries, and they just never put a name on it. Like, oh, I'd love to be covered in all kinds of food. That sounds sexy.
Well, it's funny, and we'll date ourselves. When we first heard about splashing, we're like, 9.5 weeks?
Right?
And then we're like, oh, yeah, that was sexy. And then we saw someone actually exampling of it, and it was like 9.5 weeks cubed.
No, it looked like one of those, like, a reality TV show, game shows that had just gone crazy. Oh, no. You know what? The Double Dare. Now we're really Nickelodeon's Double Dare, when you're like...
I was going to say, it looked like a Nickelodeon show where they're, like, getting slimed and everything else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That again, I always try not to yuck on someone else's yum, but sometimes I'm like, my poker face is not that good.
If that turns them on, good for them. I just don't like to do laundry that much, so. My Liberator blanket would not survive splashing, I don't believe.
No, I have to agree with you on that one. No. I love their products. Those are too addicting. Yeah, we're still trying to run up to Atlanta, Georgia, and pick up some furniture pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Furniture pieces, and we're also a big fan of sport sheets. That way, yes. The idea that sex toys have become functional, of the fact of you want to have lots of fun, there's going to be body fluids, and you don't want to have to buy a new mattress next week. Yeah.
Yes, I wish I had room for Liberator furniture. I would like a whole house full of it.
I like how, and we did get new furniture, but a couple years ago, when we first discovered Liberator, they had a black leather model. And Liberator is basically sex toy furniture, but it blends. What was great was it looked like the color matched my couch, and the studs around the bottom matched my couch. I'm like, all right, we're going to do this and get Mom over here and have her sit in it and just see if she says anything.
Oh, yeah, we were being really bad because it was, like, super close. Because it's over in their warehouse factory. The manufacturing company is right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So it's a short 8-hour drive for us.
Oh, yeah, for sex toys, 8 hours. That's nothing. We'll do it.
Right? Well, I had my friends were staying with me a couple weeks ago here on vacation, and I have a 2-bedroom condo, and I slept in my office. I let them sleep in my bedroom, and my friend told me, she's my best friend. I married them. They know all about me and my business and are very great supporters. But she was like, last night I told my husband that I needed a blanket, and he grabbed a blanket, and she's like, that is a sex blanket. I don't feel comfortable using that.
So what makes it a sex blanket? I mean, obviously having sex on it, but what was it just...
It has a waterproof core. So
oh, yeah, there we go.
The Liberator blanket, it's like satin on one side and microfiber on the other. It has a waterproof core. And, of course, I wash it after I use it, but it was on my blanket rack, and she's like, that's Tiffany's sex blanket.
Oh, God. There's nothing wrong. It's been washed. It's been clean. I mean...
Yeah, but she just didn't quite feel comfortable. But it's all good.
I always thought there would be a really good thing to put on, like Merry Maids or whatever cleaning service they want, and just have a little thing of kink friendly. Like we know we're going to find stuff. It's good because then we don't have to clean up all those toys and hide them in a drawer that we know they're going to try to clean anyway.
Oh my housekeeper. She has a fun time with my house. One day I came home and I have the mattress bondage set that's like goes under your mattress and has the handcuffs and ankle cuffs one day. And so my housekeeper, it's her and her whole family that clean my house. She's been cleaning my house for probably like 10 years. And I come home and like all the straps are like pulled up on the bed, like, here you go. They're all ready. We changed your sheets. And you're ready to be tied up. I was like, alrighty then.
Oh my God, that's good housekeeping cleaning there, right there.
It's all ready to go, and
Did you say where's the partner? Because I'm not going to do this by myself here.
I can't cut myself up tonight, but I was like, oh goodness, I'm glad I get to entertain them.
Well,
at that point, I think they should be paying you for the entertainment instead of like cleaning.
Or that, the times that I leave like butt plugs on the bathroom sink and forget to clean them up before they come, it's always great. But since then, she's become a customer, so it's even better, so.
Perfect. Well, I have a friend, I'm very much into roping, shibari. And I have a friend I take classes with who is single, and for a while he was looking for a mannequin to go ahead and tie up. And I said, that's a great idea. You can tie something up. And then after a little while thinking about it, I'm like, when you have friends come over, you're going to have some explaining to do on either, you're going to have to open up as being kinky or just confess that, you're practicing to be a serial killer because you got a mannequin tied up in the corner.
I just thought it was really funny the way he kept describing what kind of mannequin he was looking for. I was like, oh my God, they're really going to think you're a serial killer now.
That's funny.
So. And now things went quiet. So.
Yeah. I know, there's like so much to like talk about there. It's just like...
I'm like thinking about mannequins tied up in my bedroom.
Look,
I mean, I gotta say, if you bring a date home and there's a mannequin tied up in the corner, that may be the end of that date.
Or it might be the beginning. Maybe he'd be like...
I was gonna say, it might be the beginning of the date.
If she gets past that, she's a keeper.
I've always thought like I should get like a mannequin or a baby seat for my back seat so that I could drive in the carpool lane. Because traffic in LA is horrible.
Well, it's funny. I remember a story about that because they had the carpool lane in D.C. and they pulled over someone and they published a story in the newspaper because he got a blow-up doll and sat it in the seat next to him. And I'm picturing the typical 1990s looking blow-up doll with a fake face and the hole for the mouth.
Right.
And I would get in an accident just driving down, turning to my right and seeing that in the passenger seat.
But now the sex dolls are like $15,000 and they're amazing looking.
Oh yeah, they're as real as can be. I mean, that's kind of scary. I mean, where was it? I can't remember which documentary I was watching, but there was like one gentleman making them out of his garage in Las Vegas.
That's one, and then there's also another company that literally has a whole production line of they make it custom.
Custom.
But it was down to where they had a guy who was very specialized who only did eyelashes. So it could be any length you want, any style you wanted. Oh, and eyebrows. And then someone else was, specifically just facial, and another person was specifically. So they had them broken down to the point where you can choose what kind of nipples they have.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I've seen some, not in real life, but just online, and they are amazing looking.
Yeah, that just brings on the question of when does a toy do more than what a toy is? I mean, there's always the joke about this toy is going to replace the man, but it usually doesn't. Eventually, at the point of sex toys, as far as a sex doll, we're getting to the point of technology where they may start speaking. I mean, there's already apps that will almost be a companion to you.
Oh, they have ones that they do have the virtual reality and artificial intelligence that they do speak. I don't think that they can move yet, but it's still a doll. Maybe that's your thing. Some people like dolls. That's fine. But I need I like conversation and intelligence and warm bodies, not plastic.
Exactly. Some kind of emotion, some kind of reaction there. It's just like, oh, yeah, I'm thinking Westworld all coming soon to a sex toy shop.
Well, Westworld's a whole nother story, and thankfully, hopefully, we won't be around by the time that happens.
I don't know. It seems Japan's really working on that really fast.
Japan's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I mean, they already have the sex cafes and the robot cafes, so hey, it's just a matter of time.
Look, we know even people that are into clown sex exist, but I just caught the the advertisement for the new Stephen King's It, and that is so not my bag.
So do you ever get requests for theme soirees?
Sometimes. You have your regular bachelorette kind of bridal shower themed, but not a whole lot. I think I've created a different market so that it's not really that themey. It's more, just regular women wanting to have a good evening and learning about new things.
And have you taught them a lot of new things, or are they also teaching you new things?
I feel like I'm usually the teacher, that I definitely have a lot of experience with research and products and just different relationship dynamics and everything from my own life, but also dealing with working with my coaching clients and interviewing people for over 20 years. So I'm usually teaching them things. Of course, I always can learn new things. I do, learn new things all the time depending on the event. So.
Yes, yeah. I'm looking over your site saying, wow, you're like us. There's a blog. You're selling stuff. You're doing classes. You're running the whole gambit. And you're running it all on yourself?
Yes, I just recently brought on a director of sales and recruiting, Tracy Blakely, and she will be taking over the Sexinistas and the training and recruiting for them. And then we, all the different Sexinistas have a niche market that they prefer to work with, and I'm always looking for new people to become Sexinistas. and so that we can help other entrepreneurs monetize their lives and passion and be able to get out of corporate America or have extra income for their family, whatever they would like to do to fit it into their life.
Oh, so the modern day Avon commercial here.
Yes.
Except with sex toys.
Only more fun.
Exactly. I could still never get, because I'm not a big makeup person, but I could see why some people like it. I'm like, sex toys, I'm all about that, because it's so much fun, especially when you can play around with a partner. It's like, hey, let me test this out on you.
Yes. And, people still feel very comfortable in their home and have been conditioned to that Tupperware style party. And so it is comfortable, and it is an easy way to introduce new things. I mean, we wouldn't have so many different kinds of party plans if it wasn't a viable model.
Absolutely there. And it's great that you have succeeded and thrive, because we've seen quite a bit of the at-home sex toy parties come and go, and others get eaten up by the bigger fish, so it's good.
Well, it's all about making sure that you're changing with the times. If I had said all I want to do is at-home sex toy parties, I probably wouldn't still be in business. I mean, we have seen huge companies, even like Babeland recently was purchased by Good Vibration. So it's like, it is harder to make money in that really high-end sex toy product market, but my Sexingistas make money when they book me as a sex coach, and by doing workshops and doing webinar courses and, involving podcasters and bloggers to monetize, like you and I talked, to have a way for you to suggest product so that you can be making some money on that as well. You have to really think outside the box because the marketplace is always changing.
Yeah, nonstop there. And then also you have a lot of toys that come and go, and you got to see, it's like how long you're waiting, what's the benefits, because everyone's like, oh, I want to be here. And I was like, because we had the pop dildo Seminita, I forgot her name right off the top of my head. Stephanie Berman. Yes, Stephanie. That's right. It's like her business card is a sperm, so I always crack up laughing that how selective she was on where she marketed her toys and who was available to. And I was so excited to see that you guys were working together, because it goes to prove that, sexual health comes first with both of you, that, this is it. We're not going to be with everybody else.
Yeah, I've met her a long time ago at a conference, and I love working with her from her very first product. It's very rewarding to see what's happened with her own family, and I love things that have a story behind them. I think that facts will tell, but stories will sell things like crazy. And I am here in Long Beach, California, and we have a very predominant LGBT population, so that's like a huge story that I can tell. Like, I know the lady who created these, and she and her wife have had 2 babies now because of it. That is what is impactful. And supporting other small entrepreneur businesses. I try to do that as much as possible. If I can go direct to those individuals, it makes a huge difference. And I think my customers appreciate, like, oh, the person who made these candles, the person who created Sex Butter. It's like, it's those individual relationships, and that's shopping small, and people do want that, and I think are willing to pay a premium to support more entrepreneurial businesses instead of the big businesses that are out there sometimes.
Yeah, I think we often kind of forget that we need to invest in ourselves, and if that means buying a higher quality sex toy versus just like, oh, I'll just go pick it up. It's like, that's what you have to think. You're investing in yourself, not so much in the sex toy and the cost, but how much are you worth it? Especially having something that's not going to give you a rash or, break on you, and God knows you end up to be a client on Sex Sent Me to the ER.
Right. And even with there's such high counterfeit rates with high-end sex toys anymore that it's really, unless you know the retailer that you're purchasing from, products are counterfeited all the time. I just recently, I have product in medical offices, and one of my doctors called me a few weeks, probably a couple months ago, and she's like, I don't know what to do. My patient just told me that she got the Kegel on Amazon for $99. And I just had to explain, that that's probably not a real Kegel, because we've all signed the agreements that we won't sell it under such and such price. And so it probably isn't a real product, It may work for a little while, but it's not something that we're going to stand behind on the warranty for or replace it for them if something happens.
Oh yeah, and it's very difficult for people to just try to do research and do diligence and trying to make sure that is the authentic product versus, oh, it's on Amazon, yay, let me go buy it.
Right. And that's, where a specialty retailer like Entice Me comes in, is we've done that research for you. We know that we're buying from the direct company or from a distributor that only works directly with the companies themselves. So it is all guaranteed and no questions asked when it comes to warranty issues.
Oh, that's awesome there, because I know sometimes people freak out about that. It's like, hey, is there a warranty on this or not? And sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Depends on what you're looking at.
Well, and everything that Entice Me carries has at least a 1-year warranty. That's part of the process that I have vetted the companies, that if it doesn't have a 1-year warranty, then it's not going to be in our product line.
Oh,
That's
good.
important.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're spending $200 or $300 on a vibrator, it should last a good long while. It is an investment, and so we take care of that for our customers.
Well, we know. Sorry, sweet. What is your favorite sex toy?
My favorite sex toy? I have a couple. I love the Lalo Soraya. And I also love the Lalo Tiani 2.
Nice.
The remote control, internal, that you wear during sex. I love that one. And the Enjoy Pure Wand probably are my top 3.
Yeah, mine's is the Jimmy Jane Form 2. That one's my all-time favorite.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, we haven't played with the Wii Vibe, what is it, the 3 or something? The one with the remote control app?
Yes, so that's kind of like the Tiani. I like the Lalo products better than the Wii Vibe products. I think they function better and have a stronger motor and are just more ergonomic to the body, in my own opinion. I carry both, but we probably sell the Lalo product about 20 to 1 to the Wii Vibe.
Oh,
Nice.
That's good to know there. Awesome. Oh, Tiffany, it's been such a pleasure. We had so much fun. It is now the end has come. So where can everyone find you?
They can find us and find me at enticeme.com. My direct email is tiffany@enticeme.com. Our phone number is 714-386-9684. And on all social media, we're at Entice Me Soirées. So Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest, all Entice Me Soirées.
Awesome. Well, you can find me everywhere on Living a Sex Positive Life, on social media and our website. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Entice Me, that works with us. You could go to our sponsor page to purchase items that we've talked about here, or even if you have any questions, let us know.
And if you want to find me, I'm John C. Luna at, Facebook and Twitter and FetLife. So drop a line, say hi, and let us know how we're doing.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.